So, Dean Mays, thank you for your time in chatting with me. You're the senior author of a new paper in JDE coming out where students had a digital preclinical experience of complete dentures. And so your study talks about the positive shifts in student confidence and understanding. Can you say a little bit more about this study?
Sure. First of all, it was the course construction. The study was based upon evaluating the student perspectives of this new course, and that actually came out of a curriculum revision that we had done several years ago, and we had booted this up, and the course has been running for a few years. But essentially, we take a concept like denture border molding, which is um, hard to fully translate for students in preclinical or simulation environments. And then we do this in a clinical environment in which the students work in groups. It's an initial experience, and it's not their first patient. And so some of the risk and fears of like it being their first patient because they're done with a group and it's facilitated by an instructor, that they're able to see concepts that they couldn't see in simulation or things that are hard to translate from a simulation preclinical environment to a clinical environment. So it's a really good model because of the group concept. Students are learning in groups, but also because it translates this difficult kind of teaching methodology. And the students have responded, from their perspectives that it's been a very positive of learning environment and learning pathway for them. And so I'm excited. It was something that was a part of my curriculum revision as academic dean. So it's good to kind of see your one of your plans kind of rolling out and actually having a positive impact for students.
That's great. I didn't know that part. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Dr. Mays, do you think that we'll ever, now that you have this higher purview as the dean, I'll ask this question. Do you think we'll ever see a time where the preclinical environment is completely virtual? So, haptics and that sort of thing instead of artificial teeth, extracted natural teeth. Do you see that time ever coming, or do we still need, those traditional methods, do you think?
I think the method that makes that jump difficult is the actual ability of an instructor to explain. And so we were just talking about occlusion and how just explaining group function and balanced occlusion and cusp guided occlusion are difficult concepts, right? So canine guided occlusion, very difficult. And to just draw that on a piece of paper is really difficult. So I think that those are things that we can draw it, we can show it, and then we can tell it. And it starts to get across to people after multiple kind of learning methods, right? And so I think the simulation, like haptics, is definitely one way to get across some of the mechanical skills. And I think as the designs become more and more natural and feel more and more like what I do when I prepare to, then the better it will be. But I still think right now you're going to need that bridge of kind of what happens when I don't really understand or what happens when this is just isn't making sense.
And if I could sneak in one more question, Dr. Mays, learning now that this was your vision as academic dean, this project, um, you know, what I guess the question is, what um, affected you most about this study? Like, was there something surprising that, maybe doesn't necessarily find its way into the paper, or what's the lesson learned that you take?
Yeah. Probably one of the things that was surprising was the amount of work that it takes to do some things. And so this is not actually an easy course to manage because it takes several faculty to run it. And so just introducing it in the same time that you have your other courses running means you may be pulling somebody from a preclinic or a clinic. So just the resources that it takes to run it, it does take a little bit of work, and I think that was su surprising. I think it has many elements that are really great. They use podcasts to do some of the content delivery. They are doing a digital format that's really nice. So that also doubles down on our desire to have a more digital dentistry throughout our curriculum. But I think just the plug and play of kind of change your curriculum is not easy. We've always talked about it. You can't just, add, you have to take something out, right? And
Mm.
so just from a faculty resource, concept, the thing that'll make this run long term easier is to reduce their need to be other places.
Thanks, Dr. Mays.